Narendra Jadhav ji.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I cannot tell you how happy I am to address the Chair as Madam Chair.
बहुत
Madam, I rise to express my support for the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill 2018. Madam Chair, I agree with the sentiment expressed in this House that this kind of bill should have been brought up much earlier. However, I feel that this bill should be taken in the spirit of better late than never. The bill is certainly a positive step towards introducing an efficient system for dealing with cases of corruption that include massive quantities of assets, some of which may constitute a substantial proportion of the resources of the states and of the public. The bill establishes a system that holds powerful economic offenders accountable for their grave economic offenses. I wish to emphasize two great strengths of this bill. In particular, according to Section 12 of the bill, as soon as the special court is satisfied that a person is fugitive economic offender, it may order the confiscation of his properties to vest in the central government. This provision of the bill, Madam, while differing from the existing laws, including the Criminal Procedure Code, draws its legitimacy from the principle of non-conviction based asset confiscation under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which India has ratified in 2011. Madam, considering the nature of offences of FEOs and the gravity of economic crimes committed by them, providing for the immediate confiscation of properties would certainly be a more efficient way for banks and other financial institutions to realize higher recovery from financial defaults committed by such fugitive economic offenders. 2. As per Section 10 of the FEO bill, the special court shall issue notice to an individual alleged to be a FEO. This notice would require the person to appear within 6 weeks from the issuance of notice. This provision seeks to ensure that the fugitive would be forced in future to return to India and submit to the jurisdiction of the courts in India in order to face the law in respect of scheduled offences specified under the bill. Madam Chair, while I do believe that this bill has several positive connotations, it seems to be lacking in certain regards. Let me mention a few reservations that I have regarding certain provisions of the bill. First, according to Section 14 of the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, on being declared a fugitive economic offender, any court or tribunal may bar an FEO from filing or defending civil claims before it. Barring these persons from filing or defending civil claims may violate Article 21 of the Constitution, that is the article relating to the right of life. A fugitive economic offender does not cease to be a citizen of India upon being declared as an FEO. Article 21 is a fundamental, inalienable right guaranteed to all citizens of India. Furthermore, the principles of natural justice stipulate that each party to a case has an equal right to be heard and that every individual is innocent until proven guilty. Section 14 in its current form may be said to be violating fundamental right as well as the principles of natural justice. 2. Madam, I'll need only one more minute. According to Section 8 of the bill, authorities may, based on information in their possession, having reason to believe that any person may be an FEO, may search any building or seize any records that they deem fit. They need not obtain a search warrant or ensure the presence of witness before a search. This differs from the existing laws, including the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, which contains such safeguards. These safeguards are put in place to protect citizens against harassment and planting of evidence. Finally, Madam Chair, we need to look into these issues and bring out appropriate modifications in the bill so as to ensure that Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill, while rightfully penalizing absconding fugitive economic offenders, does not go ultra vires to the basic tenets of social justice enshrined in the Indian Constitution. Thank you.